So there's this video I used to have on time management that I can't find, but I keep getting questions about, and I wanted to make it again. So this is great for anybody who's in management or works with a team, or even if you just work on your own and maybe you aren't great at taking care of your time. This is the concept that might help you. So what you're going to do is you are going to create a quadrant with marking that works. Quadrant being 4 boxes. And on this quadrant, you are going to have urgent and not urgent. And then down on the bottom, you're going to have important and not important. So that's going to be how you label your axes. And so what this allows you to do is, as your daily tasks fill up, you can choose where these are going to fall. So if something is both urgent and important, it's going to fall up in this top left corner. And that is going to be due. Those are the things that you yourself are personally going to do immediately. They are both urgent and important. These are things that you cannot delegate out to a team member. These are things you cannot delay and wait on. These are things that have to get done. If something is urgent, but it's not important, you are going to delegate. That is something that needs to get done pretty immediately, but it is something that you personally do not need to do. You're going to delegate that out to a team member. Maybe you're going to outsource it to a VA or some other person that is going to make sure that it gets done. Think the lawn needs to get taken care of. That is urgent. Every week it's going to get taken care of, but it might not be something important depending on where you're at in your career, and it might be something that you could hire out. Also think making a phone call to schedule something with your real estate deal. That is something that needs to get done, but it might not be something that you need to do. Maybe you could have a teammate schedule the appraisal or schedule the inspection so that you can do some of the more important tasks. If it falls into not urgent, but it's still important, that is going to be delay. So you are going to delay that, put it on a schedule. I am a big believer in I do not have to-do lists. That's why I use this quadrant. Anything that is delayed is going to be on my schedule for another day. And so what I find with that is, one, to-do lists, they stay recurring. You're always going to have a to-do list, and if you don't consistently knock things off, then you're going to forget about them. If you put it in the calendar, especially if you use a digital calendar like I do, you can only reschedule it so many times before you realize maybe this isn't something I should be doing. Maybe this is something that I should be delegating. And the last one, if it is not urgent and not important, you are going to delete that task. So this is something that's going to be a shock to a lot of people, and this is the one that is probably the most important of all. There's a lot of things that you're probably doing that don't need to be done. Depending on your industry, that's going to vary, so it's hard to give specifics. But if you realize that it's not something that needs to get done immediately, and it's not something that is super important on your list, it might not be something that you should be doing at all. And if it's not worth paying somebody else through delegating, then why is it even on your to-do list? So that is the 4 Ds, and that is how I balance my time and my schedule. And this is whenever I'm running a team, how I teach my team to balance their schedules as well. Urgent and important is do. Urgent, not important is delegate. Not urgent but important is delay. And then if it's not urgent and not important, you're going to delete it. If that helped, let me know. Thank you, and we'll talk soon.